Uboro was a peaceful kingdom until three women stepped in, and every marriage, every friendship, and every family began to crumble. Uboro was a blessed village. People woke with peace. Families worked side by side. Men trusted women. Women trusted men. No one feared betrayal. Then everything changed. It began the morning Larry arrived. She came with her two daughters, Senna and Mira. Three women so beautiful that even the elders forgot their age when they looked at them. Their skin glowed like smooth clay. Their eyes sparkled like wet stones. Their clothes curved around their bodies in ways no one in Uboro had ever seen. The villagers stared and the women smiled. We bring peace, Larry said softly. Please accept our peaceful meals. They handed out small bowls, soft meats, sweet soups, warm breads. People ate. People welcomed them, and the door of Uboro opened wide to them. At first, Larry and her daughters behaved like perfect guests. They laughed in the market. They laughed with the children. They greeted the men politely. They complimented the women generously, but as the sun rose and fell, something changed. The Nalu women began to visit homes, one family at a time. They laughed louder, they leaned closer, they smiled longer. The men felt drawn to them, and if something pulled gently at their hearts. Nali women were everywhere. Senna would accidentally fall into a man's arms. Mira would innocently touch a married man's hand. Larry would whisper soft words into a man's ear. And the men followed, one by one. Quietly, secretly, Larry and her daughters slept with all the men of Oboro. Not through force, not through threats, but through irresistible charm and a sweetness nobody could explain. The men became weak for them. They did anything the Nalu women asked, and the women of Uboro, they changed too. Larry invited the women of the village for small gatherings. At first, it looked innocent smiles, compliments, laughter, but soon Larry taught them something new. Stop working hard, she whispered. You are too beautiful for chores. Let the men worry. Slay, relax, enjoy life. And the women listened. Work stopped. Homes got dirty. Children roamed wildly. Food spoiled in the pots. Then Larry whispered more. Why stay with one man? Why limit yourself? There are many men in Uboro. Enjoy them. And the women listened again. They started sneaking out at night, meeting other men, sharing secrets, sharing moments they should never have shared. Uboro cracked like dry wood. Husbands argued with wives. Wives shouted at husbands. Friends stopped trusting friends. Neighbors started fighting. Men refused to work. Women refused to cook. Marriages fell apart. But no one knew why until Allah saw the truth. Her name was Allah. She was one of the few who tried to keep her home standing, even when everything around her fell apart. One night, she had a bitter argument with her husband. It was loud, hurtful, filled with words they didn't mean. Allah's heart felt heavy. She stepped outside to breathe. She walked past her compound, past the silent houses, out of the village gates, towards her small farm in the forest. She wanted silence. She wanted peace. She wanted to cry without being heard. But instead, she heard something else. Voices, singing, chanting, rhythms rising and falling like waves. A strange light flickered between the trees. Allah froze. She stepped closer, her heart pounding. When she reached the clearing, what she saw, her knees trembled. Larry stood in the center of the clearing. Senna and Mira danced around her. Their skin glowed, their eyes shimmered, their shadows moved like living things. Around them knelt the men of Uboro, husbands, fathers, leaders. Their faces were blank, her eyes empty. Larry raised her hands. We have eaten their unity. We have swallowed their strength. We have taken their loyalty through their desire. Now Uboro belongs to Nalu. Sina and Mira danced faster. They touched each man's head, drawing out waves of energy like smoke into their palms. Allah gasped. The men she saw there were the same men who had slept with the Nalu women. Their life force, their loyalty, their strength was being drained. Everything made sense. The sudden chaos, the infidelity, the constant arguments, the strange changes, the broken homes. The Nalu women fed on desire and strengthened themselves through disunity. Allah stepped backward. Allah ran. She ran like her life depended on it, because it did. She did not stop until she reached the village. The next morning, Allah burst into the elder's hut. Her voice shook as she described everything she saw: the chanting, the glowing, the kneeling, the energy being drained, the truth behind the chaos, the reason behind the disunity, the secret behind the seduction. Elders listened, horrified. Each detail connected perfectly with the strange changes in Uboro. One elder whispered, "So that is why our village fell apart. Desire was the rope they used to tie us." Another said, "Their beauty was a trap." A third murmured, "They fed on us." Plans were made, mornings were prepared, drums were ready to be beaten. But before the elders could act, Larry and her daughters vanished. Their house was empty, their baskets gone missing, their clothes missing, their scents fading in the wind. The Nalo women left Uboro before the sun fully rose, carrying with them the strength they had stolen. Uboro survived, but it never forgot. And that is why today, when a stranger arrives with beauty too sharp, too sweet, too powerful, the people of Uboro whispered, "Beware the Nalu women, for desire is the door they walk through."